My experience with Soulvars was one of the weirdest roller coasters I've been on. At times, I felt like this was a great game and incredibly addictive with a really fun combat system. Then other times I was like, what is the point of this? Why am I even playing this game? I'm Nima, let's talk about Soulvars. I do have to thank Keymailer for sending me a code of this game, and if this is your first video or your 100th video, please think about hitting that like and subscribe button. We are on that road to 1,000 subscribers, so, think about helping us out. Anyway, have you been in a situation where you've been at a party or a get-together and you walked in on a conversation that sounded really interesting but you weren't really sure what they were talking about? That's how this game feels. You start off as this character who you don't know and you're thrust into battle against creatures you don't know. And it's like everyone around you expects you to know who you are, what's going on, what's the point of it. And oddly I thought, well, okay, that's fine. Maybe, it's one of those games that the more you play, the more you learn. But sadly, that never really happened. They never really explained anything about what's going on. If you end up playing this game, there's a couple things I can guarantee. Unless you read the game's encyclopedia, you will have no idea what's going on or who the characters are or anything about the overarching story. And the tutorial will confuse you about the combat system. But honestly, you'll figure it out on your own, and it's really fun. It's a thing that kept me going back to the game and actually thinking that they really had something here. And I'm not saying they don't, because like I said, that combat system is addictive, fast-paced, and pretty fun. It's a deck building game, which I'm not usually into, but the way that they have it set up is very engaging. Most of what you have to understand from the game, you just learn from the icons on the cards, as you can kind of match them up, and the game will preview a combo move if you have one set up. If you run out of cards, you can exchange some of your health to be able to draw more cards, and as long as you have AP, you can keep going on for longer and longer combos that really become fun and addictive to try to figure out exactly how to do the most damage. Your characters can also turn into like these super demons kind of thing that will really give you an edge in combat. As fast-paced as the game was, I was really surprised when I found out that there were weapons, armor, accessories that you could equip to your character to help you, gain a little bit of an edge. Now, to be honest, I didn't really feel like it helped that much, but I appreciate the fact that that option is there. Now, that also turns into one of the big issues of, money. You don't really have a lot of things to spend your money on, but you can buy a lot of different resources and items to give you health or to revive one of your downed characters. Usually with these, I like to start with the story and then move on to the gameplay, but there's a reason why I started with the gameplay first, and that's because I figured I'd help them out and start with the best foot forward. Because if I'm honest, the story, the introduction, the world building, character introduction, all of that is atrocious. I don't know why they figured to create a little bit of a background. Like if you read into the game, you actually find out that there is more story to it, and there is a more fleshed out world. But why'd they even create it if they didn't let the gamer in on the content? So as I did a bit of research, I found out that the character that you play as is Yakumo, a freelance soul bearer who works for a private military contractor by the name of DDO. Now, in this world, human souls can be digitized. Humanity faces the consequences of its technology, and with the sudden appearance of grotesque dominators, elite units consisting of soul bearers, next-generation humans born with alternate souls are dispatched day and night to intercept and counter the dominator attacks. Yeah, you don't find that out anywhere in the game. That's just something I read off of their site. But honestly, I feel like that's such a wasted opportunity because the characters are incredibly likable. I really ended up liking not only the just design of the characters, the pixel art, the way that the combat is structured, but also a lot of the writing. There's a lot of dialogue back and forth that honestly has heart. Now, it's laxed and doesn't ever really have much information in it, but I do appreciate the banter and the discussions that they have as they talk more like regular people and less robots. And so I did appreciate that, but this is where I thought maybe the story be fleshed out, and it never was, and really no direction was ever fleshed out. But part of this is because they do introduce an antagonist, but they don't explain anything about him, his relation to the other characters, his overall goal, or what he's really even doing there. And they don't really set that up to a point where you feel like you know how to stop him, or even if you're trying to actually stop him. Yeah, I assume you are, but they don't really make that apparent. And so you go through stage by stage at your own choice, and you are given little prompts to say, yeah, you should probably check this area out. Some of them are just shops, some of them are areas where you can fight, and even take on side quests if you talk to NPCs. But the thing is none of it really adds up to much. In fact, I'll give you an example. So there's part of the game where they say, oh, we need to meet at the DDO station. So you go there and you talk to every NPC, and nothing really happens. I think they were just introducing the fact that there is a DDO station that you can hang out at for no reason. But you can even talk to your own party members, and they never say anything about the mission, about the enemy, nothing. They'll say stuff like, hey, this is a bad job, but at least we get paid well. So where this game does have style, charisma, and a really fun combat system, the lack of story and direction just takes so much away from it, because you do find yourself wondering, well, why am I even doing this? Yeah, it's fun, and the combat system is, engaging for a little while, and maybe if you play it at 20 to 30 minute segments, it'll get you through, but why? Why put yourself through some sort of restrictions when you paid $17 for the game? And that's really where this starts to hit for me, as the value is just outrageous for what it is. It's obvious that this was a phone port, and you can tell, and paying almost $20 for a game that doesn't really feel fleshed out, it doesn't feel like an actual finished project, makes me think that this is not something I would recommend. So if I was going to put a score on it, I would give it a 5 out of 10, but I will say this, if there is a sequel and they actually focus on making it for a console, it could be really good. Anyway, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on this game. I know it's a couple months old, but have any of you played it? Or hey, just let me know what games you guys are playing, or anything, even games you want me to review, things like that. We do have a few coming out here soon. Fall of Porcupine is the next one, which is a very weird game. Very dark, but yet fun game. Interesting. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Love you. Bye-bye.